Recently, when ITC announced its quarterly results, Rahul, a resident of Indore, had a big smile on his face. But his friend Ajay became depressed. Actually, both of them had invested in ITC. Ajay feels that ITC's golden days have arrived. But Rahul is not sure of making good returns in the future. So, why is it that both of them have divergent opinions on ITC's stock? However, there are many people like Rahul and Ajay who have divergent opinions on ITC.
So first, let's talk about the returns of ITC. After all, how much have ITC's investors earned in the last few years? So let's take a look at the performance of ITC stock. Through this graphic, we will find that ITC has disappointed its investors. If other people have made money in other stocks, then Ajay, who has been an investor in ITC for last 5 years, is bound to be furious. It's quite evident that ITC has clearly disappointed its investors.
Questions often arise regarding the business strategy of ITC. The company earns a big part of its revenue from cigarette business. But now ITC is investing heavily on hotels and FMCG business. That is where the return of the investors is in a state of limbo. But there is another aspect to this. The cigarette business gets entangled in the various rules and regulations of the country. Every time the government increases tax, ITC avoids the risk of investing in its cigarette business. ITC's hope of Achhe Din is born out of a big government decision.
ITC's hope of Achhe Din is born out of a big government decision. In the Union Budget 2022, the government has not increased tax on tobacco for the second year in a row. That signifies that ITC's earnings in the cigarette business looks bright. Analysts are of the opinion that this will result in ITC earning a lot of profit this year. And this could set up ITC stock for a good year of rally. This means the era of bad days for ITC's investors seem to be a thing of the past. ITC's business is largely dependent on its dominance in the cigarette business. Cigarette accounts for 35% of ITC's aggregate revenue. So, how is the cigarette business of ITC doing?
People may feel bad, but doctors have been asking people to detest from smoking, but to no avail.
What more do ITC investors need? It may have declined in the era of COVID, but now ITC's cigarette business has started shining again.
After all, return on investment in ITC is dependent on its cigarette business. This might be against ethics of many people, this might be against medical advice, but the fact remains that the more people smoke, the more can be the return on ITC stock. Albeit, COVID-19 did take a toll on ITC's business, but now the cigarette business is shaping up well. ITC's recent volume growth will bring a smile on your face. Not only this, ITC's EBIT or operational earnings is up 14% in quarter 3 of financial year 22. The story looks good for ITC till here. But how are other businesses doing? Well, ITC's other businesses too are coming back on track. ITC sales is up 30% in quarter 3. ITC's agri-business has mostly driven its sales. ITC's hotels business too is reviving back with the trims in restrictions measures levied due to COVID. FMCG contributes to 27% of ITC's revenue. After Savlon, ITC has added masks, sanitizers, hand wash like Neo items in its portfolio. So, ITC's entire business is getting back on track and people are expecting the company to show healthy growth going forward.
So, ITC's business is doing well, but when will its investors start getting handsome returns? Have the ITC investors seen light at the end of the tunnel? Analysts say that people who have remained invested in ITC for last 10 years will be compensated for their loss all of a sudden over the next 2-3 years. Investors will benefit with the shares' rising price. At the same time, ITC stock's dividend yield has been above 5% in the last 2 years. This means investors can get doubly benefited in the ITC stock.
So what do brokers say? Brokers are bullish on the stock. JM Financial, Edelweiss, and Investec have raised their targets after the company's Q3 result.